There is a moment in football when silence speaks louder than any headline. It's that instant when supporters exchange glances in the pubs, whispering about something that might be about to happen, but no one dares to state outright. In Newcastle, that feeling has taken over. A mystery hangs over St. James Park, one that could shake not only the city but the entire Premier League. Today, we're diving into that story. If you follow this channel, you know we don't like to give everything away at the start. We prefer to build the atmosphere, to make you feel as if you're inside the plot, between behind-the-scenes conversations and hot information from reliable sources. There's a narrative that needs to be told carefully, and since we're only just getting started, take this chance to subscribe so you can follow each chapter of this story that promises to stir up the transfer market. The first signs came like small sparks, cryptic comments from journalists, ambiguous social media posts, photos taken in unlikely places. No single detail would cause noise, but together they form an intriguing puzzle. Newcastle's board, as always, keeps a discreet profile, but we know this kind of silence is often the prelude to something big. Patience here is a virtue. The longer you hold back the anticipation, the clearer the picture becomes in your mind. This isn't just about a possible signing, it's about the impact it would have on the style of play, in the dressing room, and on the club's status in Europe. A move which, if it happens, would be considered bold even by Newcastle's ambitious standards. And before you forget, subscribe to the channel to get every update in this unfolding saga. Here comes the reveal. According to Keith Downey, Sky Sports reporter, rumours have emerged that Lucas Paqueta, West Ham star, is on Newcastle United's radar. The Brazilian, recently cleared of match-fixing allegations, has returned to the pitch with renewed confidence. The possibility of seeing him in the Magpies shirt stirs both excitement and caution in equal measure. Paqueta, the highest-paid player at West Ham, underperformed in the friendly against Lille. This reignited talks of a possible move. At Newcastle, he would have the chance to play in the Champions League, something every ambitious player dreams of. For supporters, it would be another step in the club's daring project. The issue is that losing Paqueta would leave West Ham creatively weakened. With Mohamed Kudus already gone this summer, they would be without their main sources of creativity. For Newcastle, however, it would be a precise market strike, adding technique and vision that could prove decisive this season. Even with rumours gaining strength, Downey stated that, so far, there is no official interest from Newcastle. That hasn't stopped the fans from dreaming. And here on the channel we know, where there's smoke, there may be fire. That's why following every step is crucial. If you want to be ahead of any announcement, subscribe so you don't have to rely only on what appears in the papers later. Tactically, Paqueta is a rare type of midfielder in modern football. He combines skill, vision, and defensive intensity. He can play centrally or out wide, and in Eddie Howe's system, he would have the freedom to create. It's not hard to imagine the impact this could have on results and squad confidence at West Ham. Graham Potter sees Paqueta as essential. His departure would mean rethinking the entire game plan. For Newcastle, it would mean betting big on a player who hasn't yet shown his full potential in England. It's a calculated risk, but with the potential for great rewards. West Ham fans, in turn, have already voiced opposition to any sale. After losing Kudus, letting go of Paqueta would be seen as a sign of lacking ambition. Protests against the board wouldn't be surprising. This tense atmosphere is what makes the story even more fascinating to follow. In Newcastle, supporters are split between excitement and skepticism. Some believe the club should focus on defensive reinforcements. Others think Paqueta would be the missing touch of quality to fight for the top. Which side are you on? If you want to join these debates, subscribe to follow our daily videos. From a financial point of view, the deal wouldn't be cheap. Paqueta has a long contract and a high salary, as well as being a key player for West Ham. Any proposal would have to be convincing enough to offset the technical loss and financially satisfy the London club. Another factor is time. The transfer window clock is ticking, and each passing day reduces the chances of a deal. For anything to happen, both clubs would have to act quickly. This urgency can be both a driving force and a stumbling block to the deal. It's worth remembering that Paqueta had been playing well before the legal controversy. Against Everton in a friendly, he showcased all his quality, boosting optimism at West Ham. But football is volatile, and one poor performance like the one against Lille can change everything. If Newcastle were to push ahead, it would signal an intent to compete with the Giants, not just on the pitch, but in the market too. It would be further proof that the club's project is not a passing phase, but one aimed at staying in Europe's elite for years. On the other hand, Eddie Howe has always been careful with signings. He prefers players who fit the system, rather than big names just for marketing. This means that if Paqueta comes, it's because there's genuine belief he will make a difference. Meanwhile, agents and intermediaries are watching. Transfers of this magnitude involve many interests, and any sign of an opening can trigger a race between clubs and agents. So far, the official word is that there is no negotiation, but no one is completely ruling it out. In the press, some outlets claim Newcastle have already made inquiries. Others say the interest is mere speculation. But Sky Sports, through Keith Downey, has been clear. There is no proposal yet. That's why following the right sources is so important. What we do know is that Paqueta is ambitious and wants Champions League football. West Ham, though stable, doesn't offer that in the immediate future. That alone is a factor that could influence any future decision from the player. And there's more. Paqueta's link to Newcastle isn't new. Even before he joined West Ham, his name had been connected to the Magpies. This strengthens the idea of a latent interest that could be reignited under the right circumstances. While the fans speculate, Newcastle's focus remains on the season. Howe needs immediate results to keep the team competitive. The arrival of a signing of this caliber would be a morale boost, but cannot distract the squad from the matches already on the schedule. Either way, Paqueta is the type of player who can change a team's level. His ability to decide games with passes or shots is rare. In the Premier League, where every detail matters, such talent can be the difference between fighting for a Champions League place or merely dreaming about it. For the Hammers, losing Paqueta would mean entering the market urgently, always a risky task. Replacing a player of that level at the end of the window is almost impossible. That's the main reason the club resists selling him now. And here's the key point: even without an official offer, just the circulation of the rumor already impacts the behind the scenes. Players talk, directors assess, and fans mobilize. In football, sometimes the rumor is the first step towards reality. For Newcastle, it would also be a message to the rest of the league. We are not here to be extras. With resources and ambition, the board shows it is willing to make bold moves to consolidate the club among the greats. In the end, only time will tell if Lucas Paqueta will wear the black and white of St. James Park. But until then, this saga will produce many chapters, and here on the channel, you'll follow them all, with verified information and no exaggerations. If you've made it this far, you've already realized the story is more complex than it seems. It's about ambition, strategy, and the game off the pitch, and that's the kind of content we bring to you every day. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so now. And remember, the transfer market is like a chessboard. Every move counts, and sometimes, what seems unlikely today can become reality tomorrow. That's why we remain alert to every detail that could indicate the next step in this story. We wrap up this update here, with a promise to return as soon as something new emerges. Until then, we keep our eyes on every rumor, every interview, and every clue that could reveal Lucas Paqueta's future.